We're kind of gonna go through pretty much everything that's in here, and you guys can read through if you want, and you're gonna have one. So if you ever feel like, I don't really like this one, line 15, no one is allowed to work without supervision, then you can tell me. But I don't know. Whatever you don't like, you can tell me. So this is a EME 298. It's pretty much like a shop class. We have it towards the beginning of your program. So you actually learn many of the metal manufacturing skills that we want you guys to have, so you guys can actually do things throughout the program. So we've actually ran a few different ways over the years, and we noticed like last semester that we want you guys to learn more or absorb more of the class. Many students, they used to go through, they'll do all the exercises, but they weren't actually absorbing much of what we're trying to deliver. So now we're gonna change a little bit how it's done, and just like any year, we appreciate if you guys tell us if things are working or not working. So if you guys kind of like save all your comments to the end of the semester, there is the evaluation there for the class, but then I can't help you anymore, the class is over. If something happens, you tell me, we might be able to change, and you take advantage of your own complaint, or your own detail, whatever you want to call or if you say, at the same time, if something is working, you tell, I don't know, but like this really works, then it's good for us to know that we are not going to change it, If some of you say that it works, some that said that it doesn't work, then, I don't know. We do like a rock, paper, scissors, and we keep working. But, now our Canvas page is live. If you guys don't know me, I'm the guy that run around trying to make sure like everybody's class is running. Anybody is a transfer student? All right, so everybody else saw me actually bringing computers to you, or whenever something wasn't working, then I was there. I'm an electrical engineer, but I used to work in the oil field, and in the oil field, like nobody cares which engineer you are. You just have to do it all. So I'm the one that teaches welding and all this stuff, because whenever they needed somebody to do the stuff, then I did everything. So that's me. So let's see. Well, I'm actually recording the class because I always forget about my good jokes. No, I'm kidding. So the idea is you can like on your Canvas page, you can always come and click on and say, oh, I forgot about this one thing that he covered in that class. So you can come back in. All right. So I actually just posted the one from yesterday on their Canvas page. And if you see there, you're going to see initial meetings, meeting number 1. That's today. And then our class is going to go right there. And then this is the document that I just gave to you. We're going to talk about this today. If you guys have a question, you can raise your hand at any time. So I said about like how we're going to run the class. So if you notice, there's not that many students in the class. And we're even going to make it even smaller. So most of the meetings are going to be one-on-one. So we try to give you like most of the time using the equipment by yourself. And one professor is going to be with you all the time. So I'm the one that takes the lead on welding. Dr. Haddad or Saul, he is the one that takes the lead on the vertical mill. and Dr. Batarai, Vishal, he takes the lead on the lathe. So, well, how this class used to work, it was, imagine like we go to the mill, or we go to the lathe and we start with a stock, and then we would actually go with the student, we put our stock there. Dr. Haddad? So we used to put our stock there, and then we would actually face, and then all the students would come and face. So like that. We would show how it's done. Each student step in, have their own stock. They would actually take one pass and do theirs too, you know. But it was like one task at a time. So now, how we're gonna run the class is, we're gonna go there, each professor or each station is gonna have 4 students. So we're gonna demonstrate, and what we expect from you is to pay attention and write down things. So we are gonna do the whole work. We're gonna face, we're gonna center drill, we're gonna take a pass, we're gonna plunge, we're gonna take another pass, and then we're gonna be explaining along the way what we're doing. And then the following meeting, so I said we had student 1, student 2, student 3, student 4, they're just watching, right? Next meeting, so this is demonstration. On this meeting, student 1 and student 2, they come to class. And this guy is gonna have 30 minutes to do it for us. And we're gonna coach you, we're gonna tell you, like if we're making a mistake, we're gonna try to correct you so you accomplish the same exercise that we took like an hour and 15 minutes to do, and explaining everything. And then student number 2 is gonna have 30 minutes to do the work. And student number 3 and student number 4, they're out in the lake. No. Then we're gonna have some exercise for them to accomplish online. And then next meeting, we actually exchange. 3 and 4 come to class, 1 and 2 does things online. Before, what we did was everybody gets 5 minutes of like a bean on the machine per day. Now we're gonna give you like a 30 minutes to be on the machine in a meeting that you go there, right? It's trying to change the setup a little bit. So the idea is, with the setup like this, we're gonna be able to accomplish 3 different projects instead of just one that we used to do before, right? And before we used to have lectures. Let's say I would talk about the machine tools, and I'll talk about the lathe and the vertical mill and welding and this and that. So we would have a lecture here, and then the next meeting will be in the lab, lecture, lab, lecture, lab. However, we have, as I said, like 3 different groups, right? So first class was about the lathe, and then there were people doing welding, so it wasn't pertinent to what they were doing, you know? So now you're gonna have things to watch and things to do about the lab that are going through right away, you know, instead of just waiting for. So welding, for example, welding was like a lecture 8, and somebody would come to lecture to welding on the first lab, right? So they'll only see what I'm doing only down the road, right? So we kind of keep a little bit of the pace there with this kind of setup. And again, you guys can tell me if it's working, if it's not working. And to make sure that you guys are watching what we are asking you guys to watch, then or doing the exercise that we tell you guys to do the exercise at home, then we're gonna have quizzes, just to make sure you guys are breathing and alive, right, along the way. So today, the goal is actually to talk about how the class is gonna run. So we're gonna talk about like what's the workload that you guys should be expecting. We're gonna talk about the syllabus a little bit and how we're gonna run the class. And then we're gonna talk about like safety and some rules that we have in the shop. And then we're gonna talk about the machine tools that we're gonna use. So we are actually evaluating to see if this is what we want. But like I'm gonna post this, actually it should be live right now. The Word is potentially insecure. Alright, so just gonna post the syllabus for you guys. So again, I'm the one teaching the class along with Dr. Haddad and Dr. Batarai. So you guys are session number 1, and office hours is any time that you guys want to come and talk to me or come talk to the professor. So you guys see that this is the only class that I teach. Otherwise, I'm just like going back and forth down the hall. So like you can always swing by and talk to me at any time. My office, you haven't seen me sitting there. I'm the one between the Senior Design Center and the machine shop, because especially during the spring semester, that's when everybody's building things. I'm the one actually allowing them in and handling them stuff, and so my office is out here. So let's see. This is mostly things that all the abilities that I hope you guys are gonna get. You know, you guys can read through and see if you have like all the documents and books or anything that you need. We're just gonna have it on Canvas. We're gonna hand out to you guys so you guys don't have to buy anything. If you have any complaint about Haddad, you can call like Terry. Good morning. Or let's see. All right, workload. So we were talking about the workload. This is a 1 credit class. You're expected to do like about 3 hours of work per week. Just on one note, this is actually how the credit system works in the United States. So, for example, if you're in a 3 credit class, you have to be in class for 3 hours and 6 hours at home, right, for homework and stuff. Just a tip is, if you're doing an exercise that's taking like a lot more than the workload for home, you should come and talk to the professor about it. You know, like we would never give you something to do in an hour that's gonna take that's taking 20 hours. Either we gave you the wrong work, or you're just not getting it, so it's taking longer. So it's just easier for you guys to come and see us, other than spend 40 hours in a week doing the work, right? You guys are sophomores. So you guys are gonna be in a ENR 280, and that's the class that has the most problem with workload. It's pretty fun, the class. So then people start doing their project for that class. Takes 20 hours, 20 of their hours of the week, just because it's fun. And then they let go of the other classes, and then you have time management problems, right? So if you feel like the workload is not what you're expected, you should actually contact one of us, or your professor, or one of us. The major assignments. So as I said, we're gonna have quizzes. And when I told about these projects, we might have 2 or 3 projects. We don't know how this class is gonna run yet. But the idea is, for after the demonstration, you guys are gonna take a lot of notes, and then you have to accomplish the same thing that we accomplished. You're gonna have a mechanical drawing for the part, and then we want you to write a step-by-step of everything that you're gonna do. You're gonna say, I'm gonna secure my stock there, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna take a measurement, then I'm gonna make cuts until, and I should take like maybe 2 cuts, so it's all written down. If you go to any machine shop and you take this scrap paper from the machinist, he can't do anything. All the machinists, they have a little scrap, because they do all their math, everything that they're doing is right there. It's impossible to be like 100% focused on what you have to do because it's so precise, and remember what you have to do next. So they write down everything they have to do, and now they go and they focus on what they're doing at the exact moment, and then they cut, they take a measurement, they go back to the paper, and they say, oh, I should have got to like 850,000s, and now it's 145,000s, and then they do the math again, and they take another cut or whatever they're gonna do. But you actually need to have this step by step, you know. So that's the first project. The second project is going to be very similar to the first project. We're gonna give you the mechanical drawing. You guys are gonna turn in your step by step based on the first one. All the activities are gonna be the same. There's only so many things that you can do on the lathe or on the mill. Or I'm gonna face, or I'm gonna mill, it's gonna be a side mill. I'm gonna take this much here. I'm gonna use collet, like this collet. I'm gonna be using this end mill. There's only so many things that you can do. So based on this exercise and all your notes from number 1, you're gonna turn in the step by step for number 2. And then one day you come and you do all your work, 30 minutes. So we're gonna grade you based on that. What you turn in as step by step and your performance on the machine, right? And then everybody starts with 100, and then we're gonna deduct points based on that, right? So if you pay attention, you write down, you go there, there's no secret. It's just like doing homework, you know, but in class. Good? And then as I said, we don't know how many exercises we're gonna have, but the idea is we're gonna do 40% of quizzes and 60% of the projects. Right. And that's how you're gonna be graded. Hopefully everybody's gonna be A. And then this is the tentative course schedule, which is actually one of the most important things that we're gonna have on Canvas, so everybody know where they are. Because we have group going to the lathe, 1 to the mill, 1 to the welding, 1 is student 1, with others student 2, 3, 4, the day that you come, the day that you do things online, the day, you know, I think it's gonna be difficult. So communication is gonna be very important. So if you guys don't know what's happening, come and talk to me, come and talk to us, send me an email, call me, go to my house, I don't know. Tell me something, and we're gonna make it work, you know? If you forget about it and you don't care, then that's when students start losing points. You don't come on the day that you should be coming, then you know, it's gonna start getting things more difficult. There's gonna be a lot of exercises, so you can always catch up on the grade. One of the things here on the syllabus, it is about excuse absence. So as you see, 100% of what we're gonna do is actually I need you to come to class, because here's where we have to do things. But if you miss that class, then now, if you don't have an excuse absence, then you lose the points, but you can come and still get the knowledge for that. We're gonna try to help you out. If you have an excuse absence, it's your responsibility to actually come and try to schedule with us a time that works for you. You know, we don't know at what time it works for you. You know, so you can come in and say, you know, I'm on the golf team, and I'm gonna go golfing every weekend, and then I'm kidding. But then you just tell us when you're gonna be out. We're gonna expect you not to be here, then you just come. You have to schedule with us at a different day so you can accomplish whatever you have to accomplish. Good. So I was talking about this tentative schedule. So let's see this. There's a potential security issue. So hopefully it's gonna look better than this. But the idea is like you guys are Monday and Wednesday, and then today lecture 1, and then next class you guys are gonna be on the 9th. We're gonna talk about so it's gonna be lecture, so it's gonna be here, and then we're gonna start the project thing, right? So just make sure you see which day you should be coming, what you should be doing outside of class time. And then we're gonna always have something for you either to read, or something for you to do, or some videos for you to watch, in a way that you actually, the time that are not here, you're still doing things towards the class, right? Right. That was number 1 thing that we had to do. Number 2 thing that we had to do is we're going to talk about some rules. So the rules, in my opinion, is pretty much like a common sense, but common sense is not common, so we just have to talk about it. So we have our rules, like how we expect you to dress, to come here, to be safe, protective equipment, and if something happens, you tell us, stuff like that. So basic rules. Every class that we're going to be in the lab, if you can, come early. You actually leave your backpack there. You get all set, ready to come in before the time. If you have a class across campus and there's 1 foot of snow outside, we know that, but like if you can, come early, otherwise you could be lagging and then we only have 1 hour and 15 minutes to do everything we want to do in a day, right? So you put, if you've seen there's the machine shop, there's a glass window, in front of it there's the place for you to put all your stuff, right? So we don't expect you to be using the cell phone in the class, no Instagram or Snapchatting, no funny filters on your phone. But the idea is if you want to keep your phone on you, you're expecting a call, or you always have your phone on you, somebody call, you can step outside, we're all adults, you're free to do it. But just if you know that cell phone is a problem for you, then you would want to leave it outside, You know yourself, I don't know you that much at this point. The new setup that we have, keep less students inside of the machine shop at one time. That's another way of actually trying to keep people safe, because actually in there you can bump on something, you can bump on somebody that's gonna bump on something, So, but sometimes people will be joking, you guys are all friends, or hopefully you guys are friends. So somebody's horse playing in there, they hit something, not good. So no horse playing, no food allowed for 2 reasons. You can make a mess in there. We can shoot some metal shavies on your food. Neither of those are good, so we're gonna keep it outside. You can just keep with your backpack and stuff there. We're not gonna use compressed air to clean the equipment. We're gonna kind of take turns on cleaning. Usually we're gonna talk about this in a little bit, but we have 2 people cleaning the area, but like we're using the vacuum to clean the machine, not the compressed air to clean it out. Because like usually when you use compressed air, you can actually shoot all these shavings up. You can go on somebody's eye. You can go on the vents for the motor of the machine, and then now you have like a metal shavings in there, which is not good. So we're not using compressed air in there. We have all the protective equipment that's required, and each station has a different requirement. We expected you to come with whatever is the dress code for the day. If anything happens, you see something, you let us know, and then we can tell you, yeah, we know that's like that. But and then at some point you're gonna understand, there is a chance that somebody else, let's say a senior student was using the machine and they left it like this, and then you guys, I don't know if this is good, so I'm just gonna tell somebody. You tell us, it's better to be safe than sorry, right? So if you tell us, we're just gonna say, oh no, that's fine, but then it's better if you don't say and then something happens, right? Instructor supervision is always required. You guys have card access and you can access most of the rooms. The only rooms that you guys can't access are the ones that have the equipment that you need supervision. So anything that can hurt you. So in the wood shop, machine shop, if somebody goes in there, let's say they want to make a shelf for them, and then they cut their hand out, we actually have to be there all the time, right? So we see, and training is required to operate equipment. So if you look through this shop with safety procedures, then most of the things that I'm talking about is actually going to be here. All right, what we expected you to dress. So always long pants. So, and closed shoes. If you have a long hair, it has to be tied, and it's better if it's tied in a way that's not you can do a ponytail, but if you have a very long hair, the ponytail doesn't help you that much, right? Machine tools, as per design, they have many rotating parts. You get your hair in there, you can't push the stop button before you get hurt. So we have to make sure, and if you feel I would even use a hairnet. We have all the stuff that you might want to use available. For the same reason, you have to be using, if you're using long sleeve, it has to be able to fold up. You can't just pull it up, because as you move around, do the exercise, it might come down. And for the same reason as the hair, you get your sleeve in there, it's over, right? So it happened before. Somebody comes with a sweatshirt. The sweatshirt you can't really fold it back, and then the guy doesn't have anything underneath the sweatshirt. It's you gotta go to a room and get different clothes on, But which is not difficult if you're in North Hall, but if we're in the Benedictine Center, then it's a little rub during when it's snow on the ground. So for the same reason, no loose ends. If you have anything loose, you tuck it in your shirt, just to be safe. And no rings and bracelets. What happens with rings is that if you get hit on the ring, there are two things that can happen. You get hit so hard that actually the ring cuts your finger off. You can get hit so hard that the ring is gonna bend, and then now the ring is gonna be compressing your finger. It might take a while for us to find something to be able to cut a ring off. Now you have blood circulating again. So no rings. If you get the ring caught on the rotating machine, you might just pull the ring off with all the skin from your finger, which is not good either. So none of these things are good, so no rings in there. PPE. So so you're gonna be required to be using some equipment here and there, but there's something that you need all the time. That's the safety glasses. Anytime that you go in there, somebody's working, you need safety glasses on, right? For two reasons. Somebody might be working, they're let's say using the mill, something shoots off the mill, goes in your eye, it's bad. Or somebody's welding, the sparks, like we have that little filter, shade 9 there around it, but actually the UV reflects everywhere. So if we're in there and people are welding all day, you're actually gonna feel like your eyes are gonna have some sand on your eyes. That means it's actually hurting in the back. In eyes, they don't have nobody has pain sensors on the eye. So for the same reason that sometimes you're able to look at the sun and it doesn't hurt, and then when you look out to a place that's not the sun, you can see a black spot. That's because of some of your light sensors on your eye, they're dying, so you see that black spot there. It didn't hurt, but it's bad. So we're gonna use the glasses all the time when we're in there. And some stations, they require something, or they tell you don't use this, either a requirement or a requirement not to use. So for example, the lathe, the vertical mill, the grinder, no gloves. Why? If your gloves get caught, your hand goes in there, then now you're hurt. Hair tied, hair net, usually the girls always try to keep the hair tied. For you guys, for you girls, your hair is not so long, so it's not a big problem. Sometimes they have girls that have a long hair, so even when they have it tied, then it's actually also difficult, In the welding booth, we have the apron, the gloves. So sometimes we're gonna be using gloves here, and then now when we're gonna come and use another equipment, it's a no glove place. So you have to leave your gloves here and use gloves here. And then come back and you put your gloves back on, and then you go there. Sometimes you're gonna be required to use, let's say on the grinder, sometimes you don't use gloves, but the piece is gonna get hot. So how do you do it with no gloves? So that's why we're gonna teach you all the procedures, and that's why we want also you guys to write down so you guys remember. There I can use the vice grip pliers to actually hold this, so I actually don't burn my hand when I'm grinding something pretty close. And some of them we have the face shield. And as I said, this is pretty much common sense, right? Everybody knows that we have to use a welding mask when you're welding, but doesn't hurt to say. So, and we expect you to actually pay attention at everything that's happening. So that's another reason why we don't want horseplay, cell phone, in there, less people in there. Because sometimes there's this person that's not paying attention to what they're doing, but something's gonna hit the person. If nobody's actually paying attention at everything that's happening, you can even help that person that doesn't know what's going on, right? So we should be paying attention to everything that happens all the time, And then somebody needs to move, or there's this one thing, there's this wire that's there. Oh, don't put your hand there. We all take care of all of us, right? And everybody, so everybody's protection is first, yours and everybody else's. And then second is the equipment. If you see that the equipment start on fire, then you push the red button. We try to protect the equipment. So people first, equipment second. So let me know if you have any health condition. I can't do with this. I don't like noise. Like, we're gonna try to work with you and see how we're gonna accomplish it. And if you have any condition that's just happening, I'm taking like a medicine that made me drowsy today. I'm having problems at home. My team lost. I don't know, whatever it is. Then you let me know, and we try to see if we're gonna change something. Maybe we put like in a different test today. Maybe we're student 1, we should come today. Then we move you to student 3. So again, we have all these different setups. So make sure you're always using shoes and pants. Just so this day we're supposed to come here, and then actually you go in there and now we have sandals. So we kind of do things on the fly. We try to plan pretty good, but it's an engineer's life. Sometimes we don't know what's going to happen next. So we're always going to try to look at the equipment and see if there's anything wrong with it. Some equipment you want to check every day. One example is the grinder. Anybody can go in there, crack the wheel, turn it off, walk out, and then the wheel is going to explode on the next guy. We don't know. So some of the equipment we actually want to test it before we start, right? So inspect. There are the guards there. If there are no guards, you're gonna say there are no guards on this one. I'm gonna say, oh, that's fine. It doesn't have guards on that one. And we can use the equipment without guards. Can we go against the rules? Some of them. But we know that once we actually go out of the boundaries of the green line, there are some guards there. Somebody put it there for some reason. I take the guards out, otherwise I can't do the work. Now, somebody put it there for a reason, Now we are actually on a place that we have to be more careful than that, Let's say once I had a girl that she had a super long hair. It was impossible to tie because it was pretty thick, and I was like, can I have it we can have it like that, but we all have to be paying attention to what's happening, So there's no way that I'm gonna get hurt. So especially as an engineer, your job might actually ask you to do things that you weren't supposed to as a user, right? But you are the guy that's gonna fix it. So you're gonna go, let's say you have to fix this turbine, but you have to get in there when it's running. Is it good? No, but you're the guy, So you're trained to do the work, You're trained to be in there. For example, in the oil field, I used to work with a radioactive material. Is it good? No. Can you do it? Yeah. There are all the rules for you to follow, so you don't get hurt. And you inform, as I said, communication is key. You let us know if there's anything wrong, and you're gonna survive. So now that we have this different setup, everybody has to do all the exercise. It works even better for us. It's good when you get in there, everything is clean. You use the equipment, you put it all back, that's good. And then the next person is gonna have it clean again. We have 2 sessions of this class, Tuesdays and Thursdays and Mondays and Wednesdays. So I imagine we go there, there's 4 projects from this other class, and then now you have 4 projects there, and then they keep adding stuff on the thing, and we only have so much space, right? But now that we have this setup that everybody goes in there, they do the work, and they come out, there's another student that comes and do all the work. You can actually, after using all your stuff, you can just put them all back. right? For us, it's even, or for you guys, it's even better because like in the past, let's say I put my work here, I actually set up my cutter, and then now I come and I take a pass, so I face this. Then me, the professor, I'm done. I move out. I take out my stock. The first student come in, put their stock, come and take the same pass. The student never had to actually put this on, right? So the student doesn't even know what it is. What's the name of that? How do you put it on? So now with this setup, you would know, oh, this is what I need. This is what I do. And then now I need this one end mill, and I'm gonna use with this collet. And these are the sizes that I chose, you know. It's actually better for your understanding. All right, any questions? So the goal here is actually that you are able to understand everything that's happening, and you remember past this semester. That's what we hope, and that's why we made the changes that we made. So what we're going to be using are machine tools. So they're pretty much like 5 different machine tools. All there have like a rotating parts. So we have the drill press to drill, the lathe to turn, a power saw, milling machine. Ours is a vertical mill, and the grinder, right? The difference between these machines and the ones that we usually have at home is that like these ones are stationary. So like you turn it on, and it's gonna be running until you turn it off or you push the red button, right? So the difference between this and a regular drill is because the drill is actually powered by a trigger. You start drilling your hand, you let go of the drill, the trigger, you stop hurting yourself. These machines, they're not gonna wait. It's like the vertical mill is gonna be running at like 2,500 rotations per minute. You get caught there, a second is already a lot of rotations, you know. So that's why we have to be more careful than when you're using a power drill or something, you know. It's power driven, and in our case here, we're actually using to cut metal. How this came to be was like before, when they made the first engine. So it had like a mechanical energy, the mechanical power. The engine was pretty big. There were no like a quarter horsepower smaller motors, you know. The engine was huge. So then it wasn't very effective because like you had to have this huge engine powering just this one thing, you know. Until you're able to actually split that one big energy with a bunch of different tasks, right? So they had like imagine like this huge engine here outside of the shop, and then you have the shaft cutting out throughout the whole shop, kind of like over the ceiling, and you have all these pulleys, giving a little bit of power to each of those. That's why all of them are rotating, have some sort of rotating piece on it, because all this rotating piece is actually powered by this, right? So this was the old setup, how it was. So first one that we're going to talk about is the drill press. So the drill press that we have, it's a sensitive one. It's a pedestal one. That means like it goes all the way to the floor, right? This one looks to be like a benchtop one. So it's called sensitive because you're actually holding the thing that makes it go down. So usually when there's something wrong, you can actually feel it on your hand. If you say, this class is actually an introductory class for another one that you guys are going to have in your junior year. There's where you're going to do like a calculations. How fast should my feet be? Feet being how fast you're moving this down. You can calculate things, but how fast is this? You know, we don't know. That's useful when you're using like a CNC machine, but like when you're using equipment by hand, it's impossible. So but you're gonna feel is it cutting or is it not cutting? You know, is it vibrating or not? You know, so that's why it's called sensitive. So we try, even on the lathe, we try to put our hand on the tailstock if you're not using this hand for anything instead of being on the phone. So we use this one hand, and this one we put on the tailstock for two reasons. So this hand is not doing something else, you know, and also so you can feel it. If it's difficult to cut the metal, you're gonna feel that the machine is struggling, you know. So that's why it's called sensitive. So the lathe. On the lathe, we hold our stock right on the gear head there. We put it on the chuck here, and then we move our cutter in a way that we're gonna just take material out, right? As I said, on this one, there's some automatic feeds here. So we pull this lever, then it moves automatically forward. But then there's this hand that's doing nothing. So we're gonna tell you, you should put your hand on the tailstock so you can feel if the machine is actually telling you something, you know. So ours is a gear head. If you remember this picture here, that you had all these belts. Usually the system was belt driven. So to be able to change speeds and feeds here, you just change the belts, right? But now it's usually electronic for the speed, or you change some gears in there so you can change the feeds, right? So this is the one that we have, the gear head lathe. A power saw, we have two bend saws, two horizontal bend saws. The difference between the horizontal bend saw and the hacksaw, the power hacksaw, is the belt is gonna be going around, and the power hacksaw is just keeps moving back and forth, just like if you use a hand one, right? And the beta machine, our vertical mill, is a vertical one, vertical mill. This is called a knee vertical mill, just because of the shape. But it's vertical because if you look here, the cutter is actually in this axis. Here the cut is in this axis. And then you are gonna move your stock around. So we're gonna hold your stock here to the bed. You have control of X, Y, and Z, and then you're gonna move it around the cutter. The cutter is rotating, but it's actually stationary. And you actually move whatever you're cutting around to take material out of it, right? With the vertical mill, you can actually plunge a little bit, which is similar to what the drill press would do. So you can actually use that, like you can put a chuck and a drill bit on the vertical mill and use as a drill press. But you shouldn't use the drill press as a milling machine. We have a crosshair vise on the milling machine, on the drill press. That means I can put my block here that I'm going to drill. I can hold it with my vise, and I want to drill right in the center there. I don't have to be actually moving my vise, so like my drill bit actually gets right on the, it's kind of like an eyeball it. We have a crosshair, so I can actually move in X and Y this block. So I just secured the block once, and then now I can do X and Y. However, you shouldn't be using this to actually, I can put an end mill there and use this machine, the drill press, as the vertical mill. But you can do work that should be done in the drill press on the, one works for the other one because it's more precise. This one doesn't work on the other one because it's not that precise. Because you can put a column there. So we're gonna actually have classes for each of those machines. So this is just like an overall of everything that we're gonna see. The grinder that we're gonna be using is a pedestal grinder. Our grinder has actually two different wheels. So if you are actually grinding the thing to take out material on the left wheel, and you're taking like 3 hours to do it, it's because this is actually a pretty fine course, so like it's not gonna take a lot of material at once. Right? It's more like if you're gonna polish or something. And in this class, you're gonna learn how to use all of the machines. And at the end, we're gonna reconvene one day. We're gonna come back here in the class, and then we're gonna teach you how to get like a CAD model. You're gonna turn that into a G code, and we're gonna put in the CNC router that we have. So the CNC machines, they are all similar. One has 3 axes, the other one has 5, But it's actually like if you look at a CNC machine and a 3D printer, they all use G code. Like it's a very similar process. So the thing is, you can tell a CNC machine to actually kill itself. It's not smart. So that's why we actually teach you how to do everything by hand, and now you know all the limitations of everything that you're gonna do, and now you can do it so it's safe, right? So the last thing that we're gonna do for this class is actually this. We're gonna work with the CNC, and then you can, hopefully we're gonna have enough time so you can do 1 or 2 projects. So you exercise it. It's not like you come here one day, we give you this. So usually we're not gonna take big cuts on that one because everybody has to go through. But if you already want something, I want to do I don't know. Somebody say, I wanna make a Christmas gift for my dad. And you already have your CAD model, It doesn't hurt us to actually, you do the exercise on whatever you want to do, So if you have anything special that you want to do, like cut out of wood, usually everything that we're going to do is on wood. Then you let me know. I can tell you if it works or not, But as far as the CNC machine. Anybody have any questions? We didn't talk about welding because welding is not a machine tool, right? But for us, it's actually it's a very good way of prototyping. You can only 3D print something that's so strong, but you can actually prototype something in metal pretty quick, by welding pieces, right? So that's why we added welding in there. Good. So, I think everybody can see the Canvas page by now because it's live. So, and if you have any questions, let me know. If you want to talk to me, about football, if you want to talk to me about anything, just usually I'm just always in there doing my work quiet. So you can just come and knock on the door,
Earlier I saw 3D printing. Is that part of this? Or is
Yes. So, how we're gonna have it's like we're gonna have the projects that we're gonna accomplish, and then let's say one day, instead of actually watching something about the lathe, we're gonna start giving you things to do about 3D printing. And then one day we're gonna have an exercise that you have to bring something, you have to design something, and this one is pretty much the one class that we actually teach you and expose you about 3D printing. But in many classes you're gonna be required to use. But then usually all those 3D printers are available to you guys 24/7. So some students they're excited about, so they learn by themselves. In this class, actually, we're gonna have a lecture or something for you guys to follow. So you guys are in 280, 281. So everybody's gonna be, or I believe that people are gonna be relying on you to do all the 3D printing for your group or designing the gears or something like that. So whoever is taking this class now and not in the spring, then it's a good thing for you, right? I believe how many do we have here? 4, 7, 10, 12? Is it full? Huh. I thought we had a room in this class. It's full. I think there was room in one of the sessions.
I got the email for the 3 extra spaces in this.
Oh, okay. And then you signed up?
I think someone else must have signed up.
Okay. Yeah, because if you have any friends that would take this class in the spring and want to take it now, if there was room, then it's actually good to take as the earlier the better, because then you can start using the skills that are gonna learn right away. Good stuff. All right. If you guys don't have any questions, this is all that I have for you today. So next class, we're gonna be in here again. And again, we're gonna try to record. Make sure you take all the notes that you wanna take. You can leave all your papers signed here. And if you have any further questions, let me know. But other than that, you guys are dismissed, and I see you guys.